Start. I am Mr. Nsajigwa, 53 years, a pioneer free thinker in Tanzania. Trained here in Tanzania and Japan in farming, cultural tourism, and youth development from the grassroots. I am experienced in tour guiding, teaching, translation, English to Swahili and vice versa, youth talent incubating and mentoring. I discovered humanism through book reading, in search for answers. Who am I? Where it all came from? And what forces have shaped me to be a modern African that I am. By 1998, before internet caves in Tanzania, I came to know two words: free thinking and humanism. Eureka! I discovered myself as one. How I have been living ethically good, guided rationally, without relying on a supernatural being. I was like that long before knowing the labels free thinking and humanism. Sorry, just a moment. By books and then follow up on internet. When that arrived in Tanzania by 2000, I noticed Hey You and what it was about. I wrote to its secretary, by then Mr. Babu Goginen. And 2 years later, I applied to attend its conference and I was selected, fortunately. I attended the 50-year mark, Iheyu and the Iheyu Milestone Jubilee General Assembly in the Netherlands, and spent some time at the Utrecht Humanist University Library reading for self-study. By that time, a chief librarian of the university there was Mr. Bert Gazenbeek, who was very helpful, and he just let me read whatever I wanted to read there in the library. I could use all the facilities, even if I was on their own. They could just leave me going through books, philosophy, humanism, Free Inquiry magazine. So it was a wonderful experience for somebody, a bibliophile like me. Bert gave me a book. This one, International Humanist and Ethical Union, 1952 to 2002, past, present, and future. This was a book written by himself, Bert, together with Babu Goginen. It was articles from different humanists. So they compiled it together in marking 50 years of the existence of the movement of humanism into an organization, IHEU. Basically, it's a book about the history of how humanism as a movement eventually become organized as a body, an entity, an organization, registered one, in 1952. It was started by many free thinkers in the humanist and the ethical culturalists of that time. A prominent thinker, a scientist, was Julius Huxley, and he had written a book before titled Religion Without Revelation. His idea was the time has reached that the scientific mind, the scientific body should come out with the idea of making a science-based religion, something like that. I mean, religion that don't though believe in supernaturality, don't believe in a deity. So that was the idea of 1950s back then. But it was those people at that time who came out with that idea, and they concretized those ideas into an organization in 1952. That's when IHEU was born. So from the Netherlands, I came back to Tanzania, and in the same year, 2002, I had to go to Kampala, Uganda, to team up with the Ugandans to welcome and guide IHEU President Leville Flagel. It was the first time that the president of IHEU had visited Africa, and the mission was to come to explore Africa itself, to know Africa, and then to plant the seeds of the humanism philosophy in Africa. So I was there, and Leville Flagel elder came, and we went through places in Uganda that he visited, and he was lecturing around what humanism is, and that's how it started in Uganda, in that humble beginning. I was there with him and the Ugandans. So I've been a humanist thinker and an activist, teaching, translating, interpreting, grooming, incubating youngsters, philosophical wise, free thinking wise, and entrepreneurship wise. It's not easy, facing constant ostracism and even excommunication. An Odyssey battle of a decade just to get an organization with humanist objects get registered in a country which is otherwise peaceful, democratically multi-party on paper, but very illiberal, hostile place for native, independent-minded thinkers and free thinkers. That's our reality. Despite that, I have worked as a volunteer here throughout, constantly for that cause. I have traveled and served in Tanzania, in Uganda, in Malawi, in Kenya, and just recently in Nigeria. Basically, meeting with fellow free thinkers and African humanists, and exchanging experiences, and coming with common strategies of how we can push forward this our philosophy, our humanist movement, so that we counter irrationalism, which is so rampant in Africa, gullibility, beliefs in witchcraft, dark age mentality. Those are the things we are confronted against, and through free thinking, through humanism, through skepticism, we want the African society to start asking questions, to question things, to question our reality, not to believe everything, to take it for granted, just to ask questions, to ask scientific questions, to be rational, so that eventually African can attain its renaissance via getting enlightenment. This is all what it is about in Africa. Free thinking here, humanism here, should liberate our people from dark age mentality. It should be the light of the day. It should bring enlightenment here. Currently, I am a chairperson and one of the founders of Jichojipya Think Anew, a registered freethinkers, humanist, secularist organization in Tanzania. I was that person who volunteered for the work of translating the IHEU Amsterdam Declaration 2002 into Swahili, that being the first time that such an important document is in an African language. I hereby volunteer to serve family for this cause that I know enough of theoretically and by practice. It is the battle against irrationality, gullibility due to superstitions in all its form, including that of religions, dogma, and unscientific outlook of life. In my own society, that has meant albino killings, rampant superstitions, also witch accusing, and ostracism toward women. To counter that, I will continue to work for skepticism and critical thinking towards beliefs, STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and M for mathematics, which at the grassroots level should mean logic and rationalism. Human rights, fighting for that, watchdog for secularism, imparting enlightenment via scientific temper, teamworking with the global humanist movement for the common cause in realizing the ideals, the visions of IHEU's Amsterdam Declaration 2002, in line with the United Nations 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights Charter. It is also on the pipeline that I am ready for the training to become a humanist celebrant. It will be good for dramatizing our life stance here, providing an alternative to our people to theism. Thank you so much. Oh, just a small thing, sorry, just a small thing. My hobbies, please. Reading books, especially on religions, comparative study of religions, holy books, be it Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, Analect, Kitab Yagdas, etc. Also reading on philosophy, world history, writing analytical articles on that and other social cultural topical issues. I also like watching on television, watching sports, especially soccer and athletes. I like watching documentaries on nature, fauna and flora, and documentaries on human life too. I like free thinking debates, and I like traveling, naturally being a tour guide on ecotourism too. Again, thank you all, fellow humanists, in whatever of your personal categories. I salute you all, knowing we are all working hard together for this, for mankind's emancipation in your different societies. I am but that humble underdog, based on the grassroots. Let me have your due support. Count on you. Thank you. It is Nsajigwa in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Thank you so much.